Bring in CEO of Geltrude Business Technology Solutions, Michael Geltrude. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Great to have you. So this may be good for BJ's, but what advice do you have for the average American, and will consumers be willing to pay these higher fees?
I think BJ's has been paying really close attention to what Costco did when they raised their membership prices. It's the first time that they're doing it in 7 years, and honestly, it's long overdue. And the reason I say that is that you find it pretty hard to find any good or service that hasn't increased in price over the last 7 years, with the exception of maybe the Costco hot dog, ironically enough. But here's the advice that I would have. Consumers should view this as an investment, not an expense. If they believe they're really getting value out of their membership and having all of these savings, then yeah, the initial upfront investment of $5 or $10 more may seem significant, but it's really a short-term thing. They should be looking at the long-term result of this.
Well, that's a great segue into our next story, because it's all about short-term pain for long-term gain, at least in my opinion. So Walmart is warning that prices could rise if Trump moves forward with proposed tariffs. Walmart's chief financial officer, John David Rainey, has cautioned that the proposed tariffs from President-elect Trump could lead to higher prices for Walmart consumers. Michael, Walmart has suppliers from all over the world, but they also make and assemble goods here in the United States. What should we expect from store prices if Trump's tariffs go through?
I think we need to take a step back and really look at what the intention of the tariffs are in the first place. The Trump administration really wants to level the playing field. So if you have two identical goods, or, somewhat identical goods, they want them to be at the same price point so that consumers can choose American and they're not being deterred by prices. But what I think is really important here is that this is going to impact low-income families who are really going shopping and looking at which price is cheaper and making their decision based on that. But at the same time, it's a good thing for the overall economy to keep this money in the U.S., and I think we're going to see an economic boom from it as well. But in the short term, prices are going to go up. They have to, because these lower priced goods are going to increase in price.
Right. Again, with that long-term gain, forward thinking. So this story is another interesting one. Ford Motors is cutting around 4,000 jobs in Europe due to the, quote, highly disruptive shift towards stricter electric vehicle emission standards. Ford's job cuts follow the UK Parliament's approval back in 2023 of a tougher green energy goal, which stresses zero CO2 emissions for new cars and commercial vehicles by 2035. Michael, this shift is pushing automakers like Ford to make significant adjustments. We're almost 10 years away from 2035, but do you think Europe hits their goal? And is it going to ultimately lead to 100% electric vehicle markets that are sustainable?
Simply put, no. There's absolutely no way that they're going to reach these dates, and I think we're going to see them get pushed back as the dates get closer. We've seen this in the past before, when government comes in and sets a due date and says you need to meet this criteria by a certain date, and it's just not going to happen. But what I really don't understand in all of this is, why doesn't government just stay in its lane? Let them govern and don't put these rules in place that are hindering these companies. Let the consumers decide. If consumers really believe that they want electric vehicles and it's good for the environment, then guess what? They're going to go buy them, and that's going to cause these companies to have to really reinvest their profits into that. Government needs to keep doing what they're doing and stay out of the way of these companies.
Could not agree more. And last but certainly not least, my favorite story, Bitcoin is on its way to $100,000, surging past $99,000 for the first time yesterday. The cryptocurrency has been hitting new highs all month, with many hoping Trump's return could restart a crypto boom. So far this year, Bitcoin has jumped about 130%. Michael, we only have 30 seconds, but there are a lot of people who still don't trust cryptocurrencies. Do you think Bitcoin will ever become a stable store of value?
Bitcoin is on its way to the moon, right? Yes, I do think it will stabilize, but in my opinion, it will always be viewed as digital gold. It's not going to be something where you go to the grocery store and you buy eggs and milk with Bitcoin. That's just not something we're going to see. But as the younger generation continues to age, right, they're going to see digital currency as a way to store value.
Well, great insights as always, Michael Geltrude. Thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.